Kids Channel. Hi kids, and welcome back to the Keys Kids Channel. And I'm Miss Keys. We are back for another bomb episode in our Back to School series, where we read all different types of books about going back to school. Some from the student's perspective and some from the teacher's perspective. But before we can dive into those wonderful books, I have a bit of bad news. This Monday on the Keys Kids Channel Instagram, I posted the book of the week. But unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we won't be able to read that book. But if you check the description box below, I will not only post fun things about the author, great things about the books, but even the links to go and buy it yourself. I promise you, it is worth the read. And to make up for that, because I am so sorry, I had to go find a famous back to school book to read, like a classic. So today on the Keys Kids Channel, we will be reading the very famous First Day Jitters by Julie Danneberg, illustrated by Judy Love. This book it's the first day of school book. And I know some of us have started school, and I know some of us are getting ready to start school. And this is just a great book for the beginning of school. I know you're gonna like it. I've read it a million times. It is great, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. While we are reading, don't forget to find the strawberry feeling hidden inside of our story. That's right, you guys. We are still finding the theme. And remember, the theme is just the message, the moral, or the lesson the author wanted you to take away from the story. But she doesn't say it out loud. You have to go search for it and read between the lines, because it's hidden inside the story. You ask yourself questions like, what did the character learn? How did the character grow and change? And those kind of questions leads you right to your answer. It leads you to the theme. So with all of that being said, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for this back to school classic? Okay. Well, if you're ready, put on your reading hats, because it's time to read. And let's go! First Day Jitters by Julie Danneberg, illustrated by Judy Love.
Sarah, dear, time to get out of the bed,
Mr. Hartwell said, poking his head through the bedroom doorway.
You don't want to miss your first day at your new school, do you?
I'm not going, said Sarah, and pulled the covers over her head.
Of course you're going, honey,
said Mr. Hartwell as he walked over to the window and snapped up the shade. No, I'm not. I don't want to start over again. I hate my new school, Sarah said. She tunneled down to the end of her bed.
How can you hate your new school, sweetheart?
Mr. Hartwell chuckled.
You've never been there before. Don't worry. You liked your other school, you'll like this one. Besides, just think of all the new friends you'll meet.
That's just it. I don't know anybody, and it will be hard, and I just hate it, that's all.
What will everyone think if you aren't there? We told them you were coming.
They will think I'm lucky and wish that they were home in bed like me. Mr. Hartwell sighed.
Sarah Jane Hartwell, I'm not playing this silly game 1 second longer. I'll see you downstairs in 5 minutes.
Sarah tumbled out of bed. She stumbled into the bathroom. She fumbled on her clothes. My head hurts.
She moaned as she trudged into the kitchen. Mr. Hartwell handed Sarah a piece of toast and her lunchbox. Cause he say she going to school today, honey. He say you ain't staying here. You gonna go. You going to school. So he was like, here you go. They walked to the car. Sarah's hands were cold and clammy. They drove down the street. She couldn't breathe. And then they were there. I feel sick, Sarah said weakly. Nonsense, said Mr. Hartwell. You'll love your new school once you get started. Oh, look! There's your principal, Mrs. Burton. Sarah slumped down in her seat. Oh, Sarah, Mrs. Burton said, peeking into the car. There you are. Come on, I'll show you where to go. She led Sarah into the building and quickly through the crowded hallways. Don't worry, everyone is nervous on the first day, she said over her shoulder as Sarah rushed to keep up. Mrs. Burton is right, you guys. Everyone is nervous on the first day. And that's okay. When they got to the classroom, most of the children were already in their seats. The class looked up as Mrs. Burton cleared her throat. Class, attention please, said Mrs. Burton. When the class was quiet, she led Sarah to the front of the room and said, Class, I would like you to meet your new teacher, Mrs. Sarah Jane Hartwell. The end. What a classic. It was so good. I love it every time I read it. I know you guys loved it too. But it's time for the good stuff. It's time to find our strawberry filling. That's right, you guys. It's time to figure out what the theme was. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about what is the theme of First Day Jitters. Cue the thinking music. Okay, I think that's about enough time. What is the theme of First Day Jitters? Great job, you guys! The theme of First Day Jitters is courage. Mrs. Hartwell was not feeling going back to school. Like a lot of us. She didn't want to get up in the morning. She was scared, honey. She wasn't feeling it. But she had to be brave and courageous to overcome that fear. First Day Jitters is a classic story that many teachers read on the first day of school for two very important reasons. One, not only to remind you that it's okay to be afraid on the first day, but you have to decide to be brave and fight through that fear. But also number two, teachers are nervous too. The whole time, we thought it was probably going to be a kid. I definitely thought that. And then, bam, at the end of the story, it's actually the teacher who's been afraid this whole time. So you don't have to feel alone as a student and as a kid, because sometimes we're scared too. And sometimes we have to be brave and courageous and fight through that. So on the first day of school, remember, we're all nervous. We're all a little scared. We're all a little worried. Things are different for all of us. But if we're all in this together, if we all decide to be brave and courageous this school year, it's going to be phenomenal. I just really enjoyed this read aloud today. I know we had a little bit of a bump in the road, but this was amazing. I thank you guys for joining me again. Remember, this Monday on the Keys Kids channel,
I'll post our book of the week as we continue in our back to school series. And every Friday, right here, will be me and a brand new book to read. So please, please, please don't forget to go like and subscribe. Share it with everyone you know, your dog, your cat, your mom, your daddy, your friends, your teacher too, because she nervous too, y'all. And with all of that being said, this is kind of the sad part because it's time to go. But don't you worry, because I'll see you guys next week on the Keys Kids channel. Bye! Keys Kids Channel. See you next week.